Okay, this was a long awaited chapter. I guess most people don't necessarily like this character for probably good reasons, but I found him not too bad, you know? And this was a character that was requested when I first stated probably a few months back now when I started to start review Katekyo Hitman Reborn. And, a friend of mine asked me, hey, can you start reviewing, at least do a video on Naito Longchamp? And as you know, I guess a lot of fans didn't like him because he was just playing weird. I just found him to be funny. The things that he liked and the way he was talking was completely different compared to Suna, our main character. And as you know, for those who are probably new to all Katekyo Hitman Reborn, and if you start watching the anime, you might be asking, who is this Naito Longchamp? Of course, he's only recognizable in the manga. He is introduced in chapter 44, but as we know, the daily life arc has about 61 or 62 chapters, and the anime is only 19 episodes, so they did cut him out purposely in the anime because he was not a character fan favorite. So yeah, let's get into this chapter 44, that basically introduced this character, Mr. Longchamp. So now it is a new school year. Not only that, Suna's in he gone up a grade, right? And he's checking to see, because they post which class you're in for the new school year, and he's hoping he's in the same class as Kyoko, his crush, right? So of course he finds out he's in her class, and then he sees a name that was actually above his, that actually covered his name with a bunch of roses. It was looking hella extravagant out of all the other names, and he sees it says Naito Longchamp, and he's wondering, who the heck is this Longchamp dude? All he starts to hear is some noise. It's like, hey, Suna, we in the same class. Hey, bro, what's up? Mind you, this guy has never been introduced. We never even seen him in the background in previous chapters. Come to find out that Longchamp is actually from a mafia family as well. Okay, he's from the Tommaso family. Is it Tommaso? He said Tommaso, right? It was Tommaso, and he is basically the 8th head of the family. So while Suna is about to be the 10th, he is about to be the 8th head of the family. And Suna's just like, who is this dude? He's so extra. He is so extra in everything he does. And then he quickly introduces his 3 bodyguards, or his 3 friends, and they're all weird. We got this goth girl, we got this very round dude, and we got this dude that looked like, when you go to those extravagant hotels, he looks like those bell ringers, or the person that brings your luggage into the hotel. That's how he looks like. And I think he is his right hand man. And he said, these are my friends, these are my bodyguards, and they're gonna be here attending the school with me, right? And then we have where Naito is saying that, they're part of my family, right? We have Panthera, we have Longa, and the other, what was his name again? Magusta? Is that even a word? Magusta. And Suna's like, this guy is just lying. He's pretending. Then we have where Gokudera comes in and say, good morning, Ted, how you doing? We're in the same class again once more, and all of that stuff. And of course, Naito is introducing himself. He told what family he's from, and then Gokudera, who has kind of been, associating with different mafia people due to him living back in Italy before he came to Japan, he has heard of this family's name before, mind you. So Suna's still kind of weirded out and everything, thinking if the guy is lying or not. But from the words of Gokudera, it kind of leaves him in kind of in the middle state of should he trust or shouldn't he trust? So as they're going into class now, mind you, everybody's together. So him, Gokudera, Yamamoto, and Kyoko are all in the same class for their 2nd year. So that's a good thing. Suna did not fail, and he's not held back a year. I also add that the Tommaso family back in the day used to collide heads with the Vongola family. So at first, many years ago, these two families did not get along. But I'm guessing Naito right now in current day is trying to get along with the almost new leader of the Vongola, while Suna's still training to become the 10th. Naito is training to become the 8th. So hopefully they will, have ties with each other in the near future. So they get into class and they're debating on who should be the class president, okay? And everybody's like, we don't know who we want as class president. And then we have where Gokudera is nominating Suna to be the class president. Mind you, everybody knows Suna is no good in everything. No good in academics, no good in sports. He's no good Suna or Dame Suna. And people's like, dang, we don't want him. We don't want one of the... Why would we want someone who's no good in anything to be our class president? What y'all thinking? But mind you, nobody is nominating anyone. Then we have where Longchamp's family is nominating him. They're nominating this dude that everybody's just like giving a side eye, like, yo, this dude, he's just giving me weird vibes, okay? And now they're trying to debate on who they should pick. They're saying they're giving qualities of each other on who's the best candidate. And then we have where Naito is whatever. He's excitedly saying, hey, you should choose me. I'll listen to all your voices. I'll be there. I'll be cheering you guys on, this, that, and the third. And it's like, man, I got a really cute girlfriend now. Mind you, I think this is probably why people didn't like Naito or anything of that sort. And the person who's actually formulating this whole idea for a class president is actually Reborn. His name was he likes to do a lot of disguises, mind you. Reborn likes to do a lot of disguises. If you didn't realize, now he's also a teacher at a middle school, and he goes by the name of Riboyama. And everybody's like, man, why is he here again? And I'm like, he's here again. Since when? When has Reborn Yama made an appearance? And he is one of the hardest teachers in their school, and nobody questions that this tiny pin-sized little child is a teacher. And again, this is just the daily life arc, okay? We don't question any of these things. But he was the one that actually suggested in the beginning of the school year that there should be a class president. So going back to we call it with Longchamp, he introduces his girlfriend, saying that she's shy, she doesn't like to interact with a lot of people, she's very cute, and I shouldn't talk about people, but you, by the image that I'll eventually show, it's not the typical type of, by the description he's giving, you would assume something completely different. This is where at this point everybody's just like, this dude is a wacko. This dude is Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs, okay? He's too excitable. This dude is weird. The people that are his family are all, I don't know. And then you're wondering, probably that's why people don't like this guy very much. And to make it even much more weirder is that his teacher is actually the dude that looks like a bell ringer for the hotel, and actually he's like in his 40s, but trying to portray himself as a middle schooler. How was he able to? First off, he looked the oldest out of all of them, but you could assume that, hey, some kids do look older than what they are. That's okay. But to come to find out that he is actually an adult trying to play off being a middle schooler just tells you that the Tomasa family must be nothing more than a bunch of weirdos. Because if this dude is going to be the 8th head of the family, well, we could just only worry about their future, okay? And this is his bodyguards. These are part of his family. Yeah, we just have to worry about their future. I actually would have wished They went into the history of the Tommaso family and how they came to be and why were they butting heads with the Vongola family for whatever reasons and everything. And why doesn't Longchamp personally want to get along with Suna unless they want ties with one of the strongest mafia families out there? That also makes sense, and probably he does genuinely like Suna. Now, might I add, while they're all talking about that and they're trying to, pick who they want as class president, trying to give good qualities about themselves, mind you, neither is actually really good candidates to be in charge of the class and running a class, mind you. And then we have where basically what's Reborn does to Suna on a constant daily basis, aka shoot him in the head. We have where Naito's bodyguard, his right hand man, takes a gun out, shoots him. And it's the only way to convince everyone to pick him as class president. And he calls it, once he is dead, he's shot, he dies, instead of coming back with, vigorous conviction, having no regrets that, because with the dying will bullet, whatever regret you have, okay, you're reborn with only that regret driving you to fulfill it, and so that way you can pass off peacefully. But we just know what the dying will bullet, this is what they call it again, the desolation bullet. And based on what I'm seeing, they say once someone is shot, the person reborn will only mourn over themselves. So it's completely different from the dying will bullet, where as I say before, you're shot and you're shot due to your regret, and now you're reborn trying to fulfill that regret. In this case, it's a complete opposite of Naito's personality, which I'm assuming up until he got shot with the desolation bullet, it was really a facade, a cover-up, because really on the inside, Naito Longchamp is actually a pretty sad person. He's probably overly worrying and thinking he's no good, and everyone around him actually finds him annoying and a pest to be around, and that's probably something that's really deep inside of him. And him acting excitable, him getting into people's personal space, him just like being all over the place, it's just nothing more than a cover-up to hide what's really inside of his heart. And I know a lot of people would dismiss his character because of how he acts, but with the bullet, it really shows who he is on the inside if it decides to rebirth itself. Just like how whenever Suna gets shot, that's just really him on the inside. That's showing itself on the outside now, but with a lot of vigor, with a lot of enthusiasm, straight up in your face type stuff. So rereading this chapter about Longchamp, even though many people still dismiss him, he's still not their favorite character, I did like the fact that this bullet that did shoot him showed an inner part of him that he doesn't really show to a lot of people due to the mask he constantly wears on a daily basis, because I can probably assume, and I'm probably thinking too far and stretching it too far, but probably when he's by himself, when he's not with his bodyguards, when he's not with his family, he does have these thoughts circulating in his head. Because remember, at the end of the day, these guys are part of an organization that has a lot of blood on its hands, a lot of dark secrets inside and outside is out there, and they're part of it. This is going to be their world from now on going forward. So I know that got a little deep, but I found that fascinating after rereading this chapter. Now with him explaining, he's feeling down in the dumps, and I don't really love myself, and I feel like I annoy people, the class is moved. Because the whole point of the desolation bullet is to, because people see you so down in the dumps, they feel sympathetic towards you. So it draws people to feel sympathy. It draws people to want to help you and coddle you and kind of overall just feel sorry for you, just trying to give you a pat on the back. Of course, eventually it does have a time limit, just like the dying will bullet, which is 5 minutes. And he almost got to being the class president, But then overall, it's just like people's like, nah, we just really don't want this to. And he got, that was a lie. He actually did become class president. And he got back to how he was originally after 5 minutes. And it just ends off with everybody just like, this dude is just plain weird. And Suna's just like, I don't want to be around this guy. He's too much for me. He's just he lost some brain cells, okay? And unfortunately, I do believe we do deal with Longchamp a little bit more into further chapters, but if I remember correctly, I think he is the last character to be introduced in the daily life arc. So I believe I am finished with the daily life arc as of chapter 44. But if I'm not, then you'll know by the next video that I do and which character is finally revealed. But if not, then we are now getting into the Kyoko land arc, the first major serious arc of Katekyo Hitman Reborn. And I can't wait because this is where we're introduced to one of the other important characters of this series that's actually going to be involved with Suna. So and also on top of that, I said in my previous video with Futa does play a role in this arc. I would say that Futa in the Kyoko arc, and then Dr. Shamal will be in the next arc after the Kyoko Land arc. So until then, guys, do tell me on how you felt about chapter 44 of Katekyo Hitman Reborn that introduced Naito Longchamp. For manga readers who have read for the first time or who have read over how many times, how do you feel about Naito Longchamp's character? What were some things you liked about him, some things you didn't like about him? If you're an anime only, you can go and read this chapter for yourself, and he does appear in other chapters after this, so you can read up until probably chapter 61 or 60. That's before the start of the next arc. And do tell me how you feel about his character. The links are in the description box, so you guys can go check that out. And I'm Kim-chan of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye! With